we must first extend an olive branch to ourselves,
Mm,
right? Like you have to be able to forgive yourself for the world to extract any more usefulness from you.
yeah.
And because if we're stuck in I did bad, so I am bad, then I'm not
Hmm.
doing good. If I'm
Oof.
stuck in I did
Oof.
bad, and as soon as I say it to the
Mm,
world, they're going to treat me like I'm bad. You're not going. There's no room for you to do any good.
right.
Um, some of the most brave people I meet, and this is hard because every woman in my life has my immediate life has been assaulted, right? And so it's really difficult for me to say that someone who went to prison and came out for assault is brave. But when you lead with that part of your identity, like it's saying that the only way for us to get down to doing anything, I'm never going to be whole again. I'm never going to be able to be seen the same. But if I'm going to do any good in this world,
Hmm.
I need to be able to be who I am. You need to be able to see that. And then and the same thing with who we are in our minds. Like if I'm going to, there's a lot of things I could be kicking myself for right now. And there's a lot of things I do kick myself for, which is why I'm still in therapy. But like I take that action so that I can be as useful as possible. Not so I can be happy all the time, not so that I can be the picture perfect anything, but so that I can be as useful as possible to the people around me in the world. And I find joy in
Yeah,
that usefulness, right? To be
absolutely.
a tool of service through God, to God, through the world, to the world. Um, so yeah,
I
that's
love
what I
that.
got from
Thank
that.
you so much for that your comments and just kind of coming back around in regards to the topic around narratives or narrators. And um what was also what was going through my mind was what also we've been conditioned. I love when you use the word grace several times, and I can't give grace to others unless I give it to myself first. Learning to love myself, or have that sense of unconditional self-love, excuse me, is all a practice. This book at the end, at every reading, is a practice. Resma Menakem's book, in each chapter of My Grandmother's Hands, there's a practice. He talks about in the beginning around what inspired him to write the book. And when he was, sitting as a young child, sitting next to his grandmother, and she was rocking in the rocking chair. And he touched her hands, and he said, Grandma, why are your hands so rough? And she said, boy, that was from picking cotton. And a story that he had never heard, that was kind of pushed back in the family. And he in because he also became, master social worker, master, has a master's in social work. Did several tours over in Iraq and other wars, to work with servicemen and women, therapy, right? And eventually his wife said, "Nope, no more. You're staying here on U.S. soil. I don't like how you're coming back, because again, we take on, like, I don't want to take on the person, that the angry black woman, you know, I don't want to take on, but you push me hard enough and it's going to come out." And as much as recovery therapy, and those are things that I'm continually looking at through many lenses. Where is that coming from? Is that coming from past trauma? Is that coming from current trauma? You saw me in a really bad space back in 2022, 2023, that I didn't think I was going to get through, but it took folks like you to call me forward, and other folks, that stayed in my corner, but stayed far back enough so that I could see those things myself versus being called out, and then making the decision, what did I need to change so that I didn't have to feel like this anymore. But in that instant when I heard Resma talk about his grandmother, I realized all the hidden things that our families have hidden